Willie D Live.
Treach, what's up, King?
What's hoodie with you, King?
Man, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped for this one, man. Boy, you know you one of my favorites, man.
Oh, you too, man.
We go back. I'm talking about nothing but good memories. We made history together.
3 decades.
We watched each other making history in our own rights.
Man,
it's beautiful to see you. Like, it's almost like it came full circle, man.
Always. Like, when we still here, like us, and doing it, it's like, and we still go out of what brought us together, which was hip-hop, and navigate our way through and stay in the game 3 decades later, 30 years, it's like, we did something, right?
Yeah.
Full circle.
And still looking healthy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We looking good. Yeah. We see a lot of our youngsters that we try to put on the right path. They look older than us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So what's your secret, man? What's your secret?
Well, it's basically knowing that I'm not 20 years old no more. I'm 53. You feel me? Like, you can't do what you was doing in your heyday. You know, partying extra and all that, and no sleep, not eating right, finding out what's in the food and switching your diet and keeping it moving. You know what I mean? And you ain't got to exercise all the time, but you got to keep your body moving. It's like a car that sit in the garage too long, it ain't going to start after a while. Or it's going to be some kinks, or it's going to be something you got to tune up. If you don't keep it tuned all the life, you could have a car that's a classic, that been here for 50 years, and it's still running because you keep it tuned up. You put the right things in it. You know, so we had to learn that. We was partying like rock stars and everything else. Some smoke, drink, boom, whatever. But after a certain time, you got to straighten out your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you look good. You feel me? You ain't all wrinkled up and bowing like, and walking around crazy. Yeah.
Moderation, man. Moderation.
Facts.
Yeah. Big question, man. And it's a burning question I've been wanting to know for a long time. I know I could have reached out to you and got that answer, but I think it's only appropriate that I ask in front of a worldwide audience. Are you still down with O.P.P?
Nah, man.
You're not.
Nah, I'm down with the song, performing it, and getting that paper on the road. I'm married, yo. You understand?
Yeah,
for real. It's like, that's another part of growing up.
Yeah.
And not taking your music into your personal and everything else, but we still perform the gangster songs, whether we in the streets or not, anything else and stuff we wrote. But it's like, especially nowadays, like, I'm so proud and I love my wife, like, to the point of it keeps me where I'm not never out there. If I go to a club, we go and hang out and anything else, I ain't looking for no bitches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ain't looking for no jump offs. I'm not looking for nothing. And in this day and age right now, especially for entertainers, it's very, 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 very scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that's going on that's not actual factual. Mainly, it's some women that's not, keeping it 100. And for all the women that get abused or taken advantage of or assaulted or anything else, prayers to them, and it never should happen, and that's the wrong thing. But a lot of women out here right now are taking it as a pay opportunity in some cases.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I could get him and say so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so happened and get some money. Or if I don't even like him, I could get him locked up. You feel me? So it's like, it's always ways you could track and everything else. So a lot they get caught, homies get caught out there, they did something stupid, or they wasn't thinking, or they was reckless. Me, you could track every record, you could track phones, you could where I was at, when I was at, and everything else with a wife. And when you really there, it's like, that's my safety. You know what I mean? I matured. Before we was, we was smashing and dashing.
Yeah.
But the girls back then was with it. We used to go to hotels, tours. Man, the lobby's full before we even get there. You know what I mean? Now, I feel for the young artists that's out there, or the ones that's actors or anything else, and because the beams is on you, like, this could be a come up. I'll get some money off of taking him down. So I'm glad I ain't in the game. OPP is a great record, but it ain't a lifestyle for me no more.
Right. And I just want you to know, I just said that shit. You know,
What?
Just ask.
No, I love
just
the
asking
question.
it.
Listen, this is your show.
I had to ask the question just because it's a good question. It's a good general question, but I do know that you're happily married, and you've been happily married for now, what, 10?
Well, I've been with my wife for like 17 years.
And you've been married for like 4, right?
For 5.
4,
yep,
5.
almost
Okay,
5, yeah.
Right. This is what I was, I remember when y'all went on that couples therapy show. What was the name?
Couples Therapy.
That's the name of it.
VH1.
Yeah, okay. So I was like, I always have a lot of trepidation when people go on these shows, when married couples go on shows like that, even just doing reality shows, because a lot of times when you share so much personal stuff, people, they tend to grow apart. I don't know what it is about these damn reality shows or whatever, but people tend to just grow apart after they go on these shows. And, y'all, if I'm not mistaken, y'all went on that show way back in 2014. And y'all still together,
Made
going
it out.
strong.
Yeah.
And y'all got 2 kids together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. See, the thing was, and we'll get into that here too.
Yeah.
I've been on a few reality shows, and like you said, some of them will tear your family apart. But it's what you doing on there, and you see the real family members and what they do. One thing with couples therapy, everybody, I don't care who you are, whether you got a relationship or you married, you go through things. And a lot of times therapy is very good. A lot of people like, yo, we could fix it ourselves and everything else. But therapy, sometimes hearing it from somebody else, an outside professional, or where you sit with a group and you really be like, you get to learn like you're not always correct. We think our decisions is the right, or the way we think. We're going to couples therapy. For one, I was in the mind state like, I don't want to pay nobody to tell me something that I know or my wife know or we could fix it, in that trance. But with this reality show, it wasn't just a regular reality show with the fan. It was like, they're going to pay you, for one, to come in this house with other couples as well, and you're coming there to better yourself. It's not like you come in to bid each other against each other. For one thing I've seen with reality shows, a lot of them, before you even get there, they don't give you food. They don't give you anything. They serve you a gang of liquor. You up, you ain't eat. You got this gang of liquor, and then it's like cameras rolling. 9 times out of 10, a lot of people didn't eat before they got there. But when you feed people liquor first, liquor brings out the other side of you. So the camera's rolling, so, they say drunk mind speaks sober thoughts and blah, 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 whatever. Yo, in there, you couldn't drink. You couldn't smoke. If you did get a wine or whatever or something, it was after things was filmed, dinner was cooked, and you going to bed and everything else. And cameras was on you on the whole time. In reality, whatever, phone calls and this, that, and the other, and bow, you going through back home, it's all taped. And then they had actual, not just conversations on, you had group therapy, your therapy, your wife therapy, and then just a couple their therapy. That was beautiful. Shout out to Dr. Jen, VH1. Like, it was something that we knew we could get out of it without just going somewhere spending money, and then somebody gonna come home like, well, I feel like we paying this money for nothing when we could figure it out ourselves, or this, that, or third. That actually, and we actually left, me and my wife, before we was married, we was on the show, we was salty at each other. Cause it was more or less, I felt like, oh, you coming out here to say I'm the problem. And I'm coming out here to say you the problem. And if you go in there with that mind state and not going in like we gonna fix it and we both have our faults, you ain't gonna win.
Yeah. What do you think about these relationships where people go 50-50?
What's that?
Yeah. Or financially, when they go 50-50, like, you had these relationships where people say, well, like me and my woman, we split the bills, we split, the cost for the mortgage, the car note, the kids, whatever. Well, what do you think about that?
I think for one that it depends on what it is. If you the breadwinner, whether you the woman or the male, it's like, what is the other spouse job? Now, a lot of men don't know. Like my daughter, she's 19 going on 20. Her mom's died when she was 2. You feel me? So I was taking care of her by myself. A lot of men think, oh man, you're not going to stay home and what? The kids go to school most of the day. You got to clean the house. Like, what are you're not doing anything. They don't understand a stay-at-home mom's is a job. I'm talking about you want to come home to a clean house. Now, normally you got the man in the house, you got other kids. Ain't nobody cleaning up after themselves at all. The mother is there all day, in most cases, and his father's too that's home, cleaning up. Cooking, making sure the food is there when you get there. Going shopping. Handling this leak that's over here, calling the plumbers. Doing all this stuff like it is a job. They taking care of what you can't do while you at work. So when it comes like split 50, if both of y'all is working, I could see, and y'all basically getting the same income. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with splitting the bills because you got to pay the babysitters, you got to pay whatever, the schooling and everything else. If it's like that, but if it's a mom's that's staying home, it's like, what is she going to pay? And what are you saying? You saying I pay the bills and I work, but anybody else that's doing what the spouse that's staying home is doing, you would pay them. It ain't like, well, we saving money by not paying you. No, it's not like that. Like with me and mama, I don't know how everybody else do. She stay at home now, but she was a boss. I met her as a bartender. She turned a manager there. And then into H&R, the head of H&R at stadiums, sports stadiums and everything else. She was bringing in it. And it wasn't enough time with the kids and she ain't want the baby. She was like, I can't do all of this and be home and everything else. So I'm like, yo, baby, get away from that. You stay at home. I'm going to work in everything else. But especially like when we got married and even before, it was like, we got a joint account. What comes home to me is ours, no matter what. You feel what I'm saying? And it's a respect thing of knowing that y'all are working as partners. When somebody else is like, yo, I need this, I need that, and that. When that comfortability, but that comes with grown people, that comes with people that know like, yo, that's in my corner. And it's just hard because a lot of couples don't know or trust their spouses because they ain't even know them that long. You know what I mean? They jump into a relationship and everything else, and they like, yo, man, I got to fill her out and everything else. When you get to that point, especially when you get married, you should know this here is my spouse, my loved one, and we working together. We not over here looking like or dictating to nobody, you beneath me and nothing else. Y'all are in there as a team. So once you understand that, it makes it a whole lot different. You don't look at nobody different. It's like an equal standard.
Was it an equal standard when you was working at Union, when you was working over at Grand Union Warehouse?
Oh no, that was before I even had any relationships. I couldn't even, the girls in high school, man, that was back like then. And then when I graduated, I always knew I had to have a work ethic. I knew like I wasn't the college type.
Was it good money?
Huh?
Was it good money?
Yeah. See, first of all, I had minimum wage. My first job was a dietary aide at East Orange General Hospital. And that's serving the trays to the patients, so I got, that was minimum wage.
I thought you had the warehouse job.
No, that was later.
Okay.
So I'm born in December. So I actually graduated when I was 17. So I was out of high school with no job. So my Uncle Bobby, he worked at Grand Union Warehouse. That's a big warehouse. They had
he got you on?
the union, everything else. The way I got on, I lied about my age and told him I was 18 when I was really 17. And the reason I got in is because it was a strike at the warehouse in Jersey. So I got in, and just for me, the strike went on for like maybe a year or more. And I was getting $8 an hour. Minimum wage back then was like $2 something, almost $3. So that as a teenager getting $8 an hour, I was like, I took 2 buses there every day. Before the sun came up, I was on a bus at the warehouse. And by the time I got off work, it was dark. And I was taking 2 buses home, but I was getting $8 an hour. And the only reason I stopped that job is when they let me go because the strike was over and the union workers got back in. But from going to $8 an hour, I couldn't even use it as experience nowhere, none, because I wasn't even supposed to have a job. You understand? And to go back to minimum wage, it was like, yo, I can't make it like this. So that's when the streets got involved, when it was like, and then I wasn't getting hired at all because I had no experience or nothing. And I'm like 18, about to go on 19. They like, what you ever done? And I'm like, well, I just had summer jobs and everything else. They like, all right, well.
Let's talk about these anthems, man. That's Naughty by Nature anthems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you part of one of the greatest groups ever in hip-hop, one of the greatest groups ever in music, and easily, it's probably the top group when it comes to anthems. Like, I mean, memorable anthems. Like, man, I mean, who's responsible for these anthems? Like, is it you? Is it Vinny? Is it KG? Is that
actually, all of us. But I was the writer. Mm-hmm. You feel me? K was the producer, and Vin was a beatbox that got up into it. But when we performed like New Style before Naughty by Nature, we always had to go, and we put in our mindsets, we have to perform something, put something in song format that is a call and response. Because back in the days, like in the 80s, most of the records come on, it's just a scratch at the hook. Mm-hmm. And that was it. You just had to have great lyrics or anything else. But we were coming from the late 80s into the 90s. We was like, it's a new decade. And every time we do our shows, we had it where it was a call and response type of thing. So we said, we got to put this in the music. So Vin would come and say, like, we need to make a song about this or that or boom or that. I was the writer, so I would come with the end, which all of us had was call and response. You down with O.P.P? Yeah, you know me. You down with O.P.P? Yeah, you know me. Or something people could sing along. Hip hop hooray. Oh, hey. Oh, or feel me flow. Now holla if you hear me though. Come. Like it all had to be a harmony, call and response, a crowd type thing in there. So that was our thing. We like what people see if they like the song and sing along with the song. And then they see a video to it, oh, we gonna take over the world. Nobody doing that like that. Mm-hmm. So that was like our little mini secret. Yeah. But we all contributed, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. But you did the most in the beginning. You would pretty much on those first few albums. You were the only one rapping on those first few albums, right? I know.
Well, the first album mostly. Then I'm like, yo, Vin, you got to get up. So I started writing everything he said.
Yeah.
So it was, when you hear like Hip Hop Hooray, we're going back and forth because like our favorite group as a group was Run DMC. Mm-hmm. So that dynamic of going back and forth, and the greatest
Shout out to
DJ,
the greatest
you know, rest in peace,
MC.
Jam Master
Straight
Jay.
up. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
K was the mini Jam Master Jay, and me and Vin was running D. So I'm like, you gotta start being more in the record so they know like you're a group, not just a hype man.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
When you guys were doing those records and y'all were hitting the road and performing and selling out and, you know, people just going crazy and all of this stuff, were you cognizant of what you were doing? Were you cognizant of that you were like etching your place in the history, or were you just in the
Nah. You never know. You can never say, yo, this a hit. But when you in the studio, you like, yo, this a hit.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we knew we had something. We got signed to Queen Latifah Flavor Unit. We knew,
Yeah, shout out to
but
Queen.
it, you know, it was love
Yeah.
from the family. We knew they was famous, but when we got a deal and it came out and we had our first hit, OPP, we was like, yo, we got something. We thought we had something, but you never know till you release something. Everybody that release a record like this, that thing. And it don't always go like that. So, no, we were not aware. We just knew, let's try our system. And one of the great things about even our founders, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s, boom, you could not come out sounding like nobody else or looking like dressing like anything, or you was called a biter. And you would be, the fans of this, you like, oh, that's just, boom. You know what I mean? So we, and all groups from the eras and the eras before, they prided themselves on, you could, like I say, and I love, don't get it twisted, I'm not going to diss our younger generation or anything else. I hear a lot of old school. I'm not doing that. I love them because it's like, it's their era and they doing it their way. You know, a lot of parents in our era was like, what is that y'all doing? That's not boom, boom, boom. But it's like, back in the days, you could put on everybody's video back to back with no volume on. You knew when the new group came on. You feel me? And even when you heard them, Ghetto Boys ain't sound like nobody out. Nobody out. Anybody that came out, whether it's West Coast, East Coast, Dirty South, Midwest, that was the beauty of hip hop because you heard all different type of slang, accents, the way they ride off of beats. And it was like just amazing. That's what took it to now is 50 years later. You remember they used to be like, oh, 2 years, 3 years, this hip hop music is not going to be here. That's just a fad that's coming in. No. The magic of just everybody being their own artist. So it made us just be like, all right, we come with this new album. And you couldn't sound exactly like the last album. Right. You had to outdo yourself every time.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it was what was really cool about it too was that you could put on a beat and you could tell which artist that beat belonged to. That's how different the artists were. You know, that's how different it was. Like, and a lot of that is attributed to the producers that we used. They were in-house and they didn't work for anybody else. Like, you know, Ghetto Boys producers wasn't over here producing for these guys.
Ain't nobody know each other then.
Yeah,
it wasn't social media or boom.
Well, we knew each other, but
in passing.
Yeah.
We see each other at shows and bow, but it wasn't like, for the most part, the producers was in our hometowns or within our groups. So we'll be like this, but we were so competitive. We like, did you hear that last album they made? Oh, we gotta smoke them with our shit. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't. It was a competitive thing. Like, because everybody's sound was from that region or where they were from, and that's what made it so funky.
Yeah. Who's responsible for y'all merch? Because y'all got some of the dopest merch.
Well, we all like came up. We had once we had the logo and everything else. Vin that was his part in it, you know what I mean, as well. Because we never wanted anybody to be looked at as like inferior in the group or not a part. So Vin really went and he was like, we looked at Public Enemy for one.
Mm-hmm.
Like Public Enemy had their merch and they album sleeves and all that and that logo. Like, God, this is huge. And then we seen them like touring overseas and stuff. All them white folks wearing that. We was like, hold up. Ching, 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 ching. So even when we had the brick and mortar store in Newark, the Naughty store, it was like, yeah, Vin was running the merchandise. Yep.
Yeah, that's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Dope. Man, tell me about when you met Michael Jackson. Tell me what that experience was like.
I felt like a GG, a gangster groupie. I was gangster like, yo, this MJ, is you serious?
Now, under what circumstances did y'all meet?
To our homie, rest in peace, Heavy D.
Okay.
Heavy D had a joint with him called Jam.
I remember that song.
Michael Jordan was in the video.
Right.
So he invite us there, like to the video, and like, we like, what? We go to the video and see Mike. And he shake our hands like, and you know OPP is ABC, Jackson 5 sample.
Right.
Yo, that song is my joint. I felt like I was in a straight Matrix dream, like Michael Jackson. Knowing by nature, I love you guys.
And how did y'all get the damn rights to release this? I would never have thought Mike or whoever owned the publishing would give you guys permission to use that sample.
Exactly. Well, what they did, thankful for, we were actually signed to Warner Brothers Records. Shout out to Benny Medina.
Okay.
Benny Medina.
Yes.
They didn't know what to do with hip hop. Like but you know they love Latifah and through you know Business Connects put us on Tommy Boy. But it went through, and Shakim's great managing skills. They was like, okay, let's hear. Oh, these guys are boom. Okay. What we can do is tell me you won't get any publishing from it, the production. We was like, so? Y'all gonna clear the sample? We could tour forever off this. This song, we already made it and knew it. We was like, this song right here, nobody has a Jackson 5 sample, because you couldn't get it clear. Through the connects over there and Warner's, we got that sample and it was a rap like a doobie.
Yeah, that was big. That was big.
So we was like, we don't need no. So after like 30 years, which is now, when you start getting some publishing, producing, but we got the writer's credit.
Yeah,
that was and we
big.
tour until, still doing it.
That's how it was when we sampled Steve Miller, for the Joker.
Yeah, they give them the keep.
We did the Gangsta Love. We was like, man, they told us we couldn't use it, and we was like, man, this shit is jam, because we had already made the song. We was like, man,
we can't change
what y'all want to do? We was like, man, we putting this side, man. They can do what they want.
You ain't gonna have no publishing off the production.
Man,
so what?
Yeah, man.
That was the same type
I know
deal.
exactly what you're talking about.
That part.
So you meet Mike, and does Mike know who you are?
Yeah, I said. He was like, Naughty by Nature, OPP. I love that song.
So he really knows who you are, and did he rap the song? Because I heard a lot of times when Michael rap songs.
He knew enough to say, "You down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You down with OPP?" He'd like play a beat like substitutions with his hands, and I'm like, "Yo, Michael Jackson knows me. I'm the shit."
Did he have Bubbles with him?
Yeah, he had Bubbles.
Bubbles was with him.
Yeah, he
what was
pulls
Bubbles?
up.
Was Bubbles on his back or he was holding him?
Man, Bubbles was walking around dressed better than us, yo. With badass bras walking him. Like, is you serious? Like, are you serious? Yo, it was like a movie.
What kind of suit did Bubba have?
A suit. He had a suit. It probably was.
He had a tuxedo or just a regular
probably
suit?
Versace or
Did he have a tie on?
Yeah. Black suit, black tie, white shirt. And hands out, and it ain't no shoes gonna fit him.
Man, whatever happened? Do you know what happened to Bubbles, man? Because all of a sudden I just stopped hearing about Bubbles. Did Bubbles die?
I mean,
Yeah, I guess he did. I mean,
probably,
it's been a
you
long
know,
time.
monkey years and human years is different.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like dog years. Like, I would.
I don't know how long.
He might be pimping out in L.A. somewhere.
know how
Like,
long
he
monkeys
probably
stay
got a
alive.
gang of hoes. Like, Bubbles was.
Bubbles, man. So Mike, y'all meet Mike. Mike is jamming to the music and everything.
Yeah.
And did you observe anything about him that made you go like wow outside of him being wild by you guys?
No, I was basically in awe. I mean, you know, all the talks was going on and everything else, the skin lighter and all the rest of that. I don't care about none of that. I'm like, yo, he black, period. And the talent is undeniable, and the legacy and the legend who he is while he was alive. And I have a part of being here in the video and taking pictures and all the rest of it. So nobody could say you lying. Not only was we in the video, we had pictures that was all over everywhere and everything else with MJ, the Prince, Heavy D, Michael Jordan, 2 MJs. And it's all because in this time it was like just OPP out. It wasn't even hit. It was the first album. The first album we were rubbing elbows with the biggest of the biggest stars on the planet. Oh, you come on.
This is when I knew you guys were dope, right? I only knew one song, and that was OPP. We were on tour together, and the only thing I knew was that OPP song. But when y'all hit the stage, y'all rocked it. Y'all rocked it. That ain't easy to do, rocking the stage when people don't know your music.
Yeah.
You know, when people don't really know the lyrics to certain. Everybody knew OPP, and your fan base, the people that came out to see y'all in particular, they knew the song. But other people were just like me, was just rocking who didn't necessarily know the lyrics.
Because at that time, we were getting paid where they wanted, like, we just had a single out, but they wanted 45-minute hour show.
Yeah.
So we had to perform. So that when it comes into even our gangster songs and everything else, it was like our mentor was always call and response, and because we was doing talent shows all over before we even came out, and we had to rock a crowd that don't know none of our music. So we made our albums like, don't nobody know this. We gotta, if we play this anywhere or perform this, the crowd has to rock with us. Whether it's a gangster song, a party song, a sexy song, or anything else. And they did. And a lot of artists come out now, they blow up. They have hits, but they never performed until they perform again. And sometimes the shows is like, you could tell. We were performing at all types of ghetto where like the Apollo type audiences that'll boo you off stage if you whack, like years before we even came out with OPP. So we already had stage presence and knew how to rock a crowd, period.
What was a typical day hanging out with Treach and Tupac like?
Well, from the beginning, before the fame and glory, we met each other when we was aspiring artists.
Okay. Was that before the Juice movie also?
Yeah.
Okay.
We met on the road. I was with Queen Latifah, a roadie. I was carrying bags.
And he was a roadie for
Digital Underground.
Digital Underground. Okay.
And both Latifah and Digital Underground was on Tommy Boy Records.
Okay.
So we met.
Kind of bonded.
Yeah.
Like that.
Pac, actually, he was like I was a roadie, plus Latifah bring me out to freestyle and I'm back up for her. He actually had music out before I did. Same song. All around the world, the same song with Digital. So, but even before that came out, we was just roadies. So we bonded immediately because we was the ones that every town we go to, yo, man, let's go to the hood, find some weed. So we'll do all our work and everything else. If I'm finished before him, I'll help him carry in digital stuff or do whatever. If he finished before me, he helped with Latifah. So we was like, so we could get off early and everything else and just go to the malls and everything else. You know, we had per diem back then. We wasn't getting paid like a lot, but we bonded like that. We was both from the hood, different hoods, different coasts, and just was aspiring and had a dream and was on the road. And a lot of artists or kids or anybody, they don't know, like you all think the hood is good. It ain't nothing outside of here. I don't give a damn what's out anywhere. I'm safe. I got family. I got boom. When you hit the road for the first time and just venture out and see it's a world outside of where you at, we both came back with a whole different mentality of the world. Like it ain't just out. We have to let the whole entire world, not just the United States, but internationally, all over the world, know we here and we got something to say.
What do you think the biggest misconception of Tupac is?
Now he was reckless and a militant and very confrontational or anything else. What they got to understand about Pac was a baby Black Panther. He was incarcerated before he was even born. His mom's was in jail. Rest in peace, Afeni. You know, like, and he was brought up and taught on a different level than a lot of people. We were basically taught what the schools taught us. And a lot of us, our parents had regular 9-to-5s, even if it was a single parent like your mother raising you. The Panthers was deep. They had a knowledge of this country and what was going on way different than what you learn in a regular elementary school because they don't teach us a lot of our history, you know. So he knew a lot of stuff, was raised on a lot of stuff, was very intellectual. But they really, and it was only at the time once, you know, rest in peace, Big, too, when they got into the battle and all that, they was like, oh, man, Pac is just... And they seen him catching the charges and all that and this, that, and the third. It was, you know, people see you and they put a typecast on you. That's who he is.
Did you go to the hospital? You went to the hospital when he got shot, right?
Yeah, the first time?
Yeah, when he got
in New
shot.
York.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
Right. And, I mean, did he really believe that Biggie had something to do with the first shooting?
I think he really didn't know fully. His thing where he put Big into the mix was like, Big, these homies was at your studio session that I was coming to. If you didn't set it up, who did this? And after Big can come, he's like, yo, you big baller, like, from New York. You got connects. Find out who, blah, 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 or this, that, and other. Or even if he knew who did it, why? And why was they there? And blah, da, 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 da. Back in the days, if you don't know, especially speaking from the East Coast, everything else, and a lot of hip-hop sessions I just was in, period, it'll be 10, 20 homies, girls, everything. In the studio session, that ain't got nothing to do with the recording. So that was a normal and everything else. Pac thing was like, I got hit up in a session, I'm coming to see you. Why you don't know what went on or allowed it to? You feel me? And everybody is different than anything else. Jersey, where we from, right across from New York, but a different state, is like we knew everybody who was in our studio sessions. And we basically, if you come to our hood, he was knowing like, yo, I go with Treach, I go with Boom, I'm held down like the president. Like, I'm from they hood. Like, they got me. Why you ain't have me?
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
Did you ask that question why you didn't have me? That's a very poignant question. Why you didn't have me? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, when Pac got hit
Mhm.
in Vegas,
Mhm.
and he had all these dudes with him,
Mhm.
and he still got hit. And not
Mhm.
only did he get hit, the guy got away.
Mhm.
Why you didn't have me? Like, it's one of those things that really just makes me go like, nobody nobody can guard my body better than I can.
Mhm.
At the end of the day,
Mhm.
that's the way I look
You
at it.
you kind of you said it right there. If you listen to a Naughty by Nature song called "More You Till I Join You," I put a lot in that record. We had a video and everything else, but you said it. Pac was hard headed, for one. He didn't have his vest on that night.
Somebody said he had it on earlier and he took it off.
All right, me and you both know. If you anywhere, and after he got shot the first time in New York, I might have messed up a whole lot of deals and everything else. I went every day with a vest and heated. You know what I mean? Homies, everything heated. In the meetings, I know these white folks was like, as soon as this shit over, do not call this nigga back. He's active. He don't separate business from the streets. But Pac, no. One of the first rules. If you get into a situation somewhere, especially out of state, and you brawl or anything or get into something, boom, and you have your vest or your strap, that's what it's there for. And when you rolling somewhere, you know to roll correctly where you're not in an untinted window or a car or sitting in the front seat. And you the star or you the one that's rolling with anybody else, you rolling in tinted where don't nobody know you in it, and in the middle seat in the back, and the cars in the front and the back, you know what I mean? He had legal eagles, which is legal armed carriers. Where were they? You feel me? You roll like the president, even if you don't have no beef. You understand? But when you definitely just got into something and you already got shot before out of state, it's a different ball game.
Yeah. Where were you when you heard he died?
Oh man, I was actually on the road and then home. And of course, after the first time, everybody was like, "Oh, Pac got shot, so he got shot before. He'd be all right." But then, from different people and family that was there in Vegas, I'm like, "Yo, I'm coming out there. Getting." They was like, "It's a circus. We'll keep you posted." Suge was. That's my guy. Outlaws. Yo. It was like it ain't. People was down here that's not getting upstairs, not seeing them. Not it's close people. Like it's too many people here. It's a circus. So I waited and like, all right. Then the word was like he's getting better. He's going. It was so many different. It wasn't even like social media or nothing back then. You had to get. It's like the word of mouth game. Before I knew it, it was the 13th, September, 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And the word went out.
Yeah, and then 6 months later, Biggie was murdered. And I remember where I was. I was in a hotel room when I got the news. It's like, what the hell is going on? And at that time, that was monumental, for two prominent people
I'm
to be
real.
gunned down,
I'm real.
especially people that that's in the same field that we're in, and
I'm real.
people that you can relate to so much, almost like family.
Hmm.
To be taken away from us like that, it makes you think like, damn, well, if you can take them, what is the incentive?
It ain't safe for none of us. And it was like, Pac introduced me to Biggie. So Biggie was my guy too.
Mm.
You feel me? So when all that was going on, it was like, nah, it's like, even with the hip hop part of it, I'm like, oh, they gonna battle it out on wax. It's going, all right, you gotta let that ride. You gotta let it do what it do. But it was crazy. Actually, the night it happened, right after, boom, I was in jail because I caught my first and only DUI that night. You feel me? But it was, I seen before, I think either one of them had passed, I seen when they were going back, I think Hit 'Em Up came out and everything else, I seen a Vibe cover and Big and Puff was on it. And the only thing that the title of the cover said was East vs. West.
East versus West. Yeah.
I said,
yeah.
This. Now, this right now. It didn't say East Coast label, West Coast label. It said East vs. West. I said, half the gangsters, they walk by, and Vibe was a very popular magazine, they won't even read the article. They just see, oh, it's on?
Pick a side. Yeah.
Pick a side. Oh, it's on? So, naturally, after Pac has stepped off 13th, and that magazine went, I seen Big out in Cali doing all this promotion for a new record, like out in Cali. I'm like, this ain't, that's not a good move. Like, promote your new record or wherever else, anywhere but Cali. That's what I'm thinking. And then you have a record called Going Back to Cali. I'm like, Cali is different. It's like, that's gangbang capital of the United States. Like, they ain't playing like, it's like if Big would have went and passed, and then Pac came to the East Coast, and he was just in New York, and like, I'm in New York. And I'll be like, Pac, no, you not. Get up out of there, and whatever you promote, and if you promote, go and do it all across the states or overseas and anything else. Don't do it in New York. It's going to look like you thumbing your finger, your nose at them, like, and your homie, y'all homie from out here dead. Now I'm here. I just, like I said, we was on tour with Big, like during the hit, like Pac and them knew, Suge knew, everything else. They're like, get that money. We gonna make some records that's gonna eat them up, whatever they make, yo, and da-da-da-da. Wasn't no thoughts of anything like that, but that media blew that out of proportion. Like I said, I saw that East vs. West. I'm like, it's about to be on.
Glad you mentioned that media because they did have a hand in it. All of them. All of them. Not one of them was innocent. Not one of them don't have blood on their hands because, when it happened, first of all, before it even happened to Pac, it was like, okay, now Pac is dead. And so Big is standing. And then it was like, they just like put more fuel on the fire, and then when Biggie got hit, it's East West, and they still
now it's a whole coastal war of nothing that has to do with rap or music or anything.
And then they started making articles talking about how this needs to stop and we need peace and da-da-da. But they threw those rocks, man, and they hit their hands, and they got blood on their hands. The media, they've always been doing that though.
Mhm.
The mainstream media, in particular, they've always had a hand in it. Yeah, that was a very
A blow. A blow.
It's a very, very bad time, not just for hip hop, but for us as a people. It was a very bad time because I was thinking the whole time that when that happened, when I started trying to get in the game, it was like I'm gonna get into the game so I can get away from the game.
Get out of the
You know what I'm
streets.
saying? I need to
not
get
to
into
do it
this,
again.
You know, I'm gonna do this so I can get out of the streets and I can have a chance. And so, what this tells our young people is that even if you make it, even if you become a big time celebrity,
You got to go
that
the
ain't
nigga
enough.
route.
You still might get
Done.
gunned down like a dog in the streets.
Mhm. And we the only art form where that happens.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the answer though? Like I hear a lot of people say, yeah, you gotta just stop the music. You gotta get rid of the drill music. You gotta censor it. I mean, what's the answer? How do we quell these type of conflicts in hip hop?
I mean, that's a great question. The answer is a lot harder. In our day, we used to have idols, and it wasn't politicians or too many people in the industry or anything, but we respected our hip hop legends that came before us. I would say the answer is having sit downs and summits and everything else with the younger artists and everything else. But as we all see, it's a different level of respect that they have for us than we had for our OGs that came before us. And we never, like, in our era, it was nobody that went and when Cube was going at NWA and da-da-da-da, it was so many, and it was a lot of artists that was boom. If anything, you meet up, because, promoters wouldn't put you on the same tour, the same shows, but you meet up at summits like Jack the Rapper or anything else, and then you'll see one squad of homies and another squad of homies bang it out, like fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, yo, when I'm really going to kill him. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, if we run into each other, we going to handle this. It's like, now they actually out to kill each other, and they don't want to hear nothing. No, it's like the respect of who you respect is not the OGs. It's like, I'm making the rules up by myself. There are no rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you said, like when we came up, we was like on one of the biggest drug blocks in East Orange, New Jersey. But even before we got a label deal, we found out Flavor Unit wanted to sign us. Queen Latifah shot. We was like, yo, me, Vin, and K, like, we can't hustle no more. We got to decide whether we going to be in the streets or we going to be in this business. Because we can't do nothing to taint the Queen name. Like, we can't do both. We got to decide. It's like now, some artists is like the streets and the game is the same thing. Like you said, we did things to get out of the game, not to get in the game, to be in the game, to have the same circumstances of being in the game comes. Death or locked up, indictments or anything else. We was like, yo, I'll never sell a drug again unless I own a dispensary or a pharmacy. Before there was, I'm like, yo, drugs. You see what we getting over here with this and anything that's going on right there, homies. Let me let you know. Don't have nothing come back on me for what you doing on nothing. If you come on the road with me, if you this, that, and the other, yo, all that don't have no reflections of no dirty shit you doing over here come to me, or I'm getting sued, or I'm getting locked up, or I'm on film getting taped like, and it's something more than the music, because all I'm doing is this music and this film shit. I didn't come in here to give it all away. We got out. People know us. I do so much more stuff than the music, acting and this and modeling and blah, 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 blah. Man, I'm not fucking this up for nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned your hometown, your birthplace, East Orange, New Jersey. Y'all, East Orange is, if I'm not mistaken, the 17th most populous city in New Jersey.
Possible.
Y'all got like 70,000 people there. How do y'all come up out of there? How does Treach come out of such a small little dot on the map?
With a dream and with knowing I'm not going to stay here. And starting off from, I wanted to be an athlete, you know what I mean? Boom. That ain't happened for me, anything else. I never wanted to be poor. So while I was doing rapping and all the talent shows and everything else, I'm like, I'm going to have a job. So like I said, I was doing minimum wage until I had to lie about my age to get a job paying real money. I have to have work ethic, like to know to grind. You know what I mean? It came like down to the last resort. After my mom threw me out, I was homeless. I was living in the park. And it was like, no job, was no more warehouse job, $8 an hour. Wouldn't nobody hire me. Still going out, but I'm in the streets. No, I'm not going to be no bum. I'm not going to be in the shelter the rest of my life. I'm not going to be begging nobody for nothing. And homies I knew was hustling and was like, you want to get down, and boom, and I did. Not bragging on it, not saying that's the way to go or anything else, because there's so many more opportunities now. It wasn't like you could Google different things and find, like, it's jobs out there. Don't get it twisted. Shout out to my Latinas and immigrants that's coming over the border and everything else, and I don't care what nobody's saying. They come to work. They want jobs. We don't have no excuses. They here. You see so many of them open bodegas and everything else and sending money back home and all that that's been here for forever, since we've been here. It's a way where we could go and get stuff. It's no excuses. We still blaming slavery and everything else, yo. No. We see immigrants that come and they make a living and make businesses and do what they doing, and there's no excuses. So my mind state was like, I'm not going to be asking nobody for nothing. I'm not going to be begging. I'm going to do something for myself. It's that drive. You got to have work ethic. A lot of the youth, they have to get jobs first, and not even first, while they doing their dreams and living in the studio and everything else. Have a work ethic. You want to know what it's like to really work and grind and work for your future.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us who want it, we know that we do have to have that work ethic, and we have that work ethic. We built this country, so we had a hell of a work ethic. Listen,
We had.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Now we feel like it's old.
Well, the thing is, some of us feel like it's old. But many of us, see, I look at it like this. Like, what they do is, they put our worst up as an example of who we are collectively. They put their best up as an example of who they are collectively. And this is why sometimes, the truth kind of gets skewed. Because if you really look at where we come from and where we are today, I'm not saying a few of us are the ones who are tripping and all. I'm talking about collectively, overall. I just don't think that there's too many people other than us who could have survived and continue to thrive.
Not at all.
And do what we've been able to do.
Not at all.
Most of us, we have way more successes than we have failures. And
they don't report that, or it's not out there, so you think it's like it's not happening, but it is.
Yeah. What they try to do is they'll use like great examples of success for us, like people that most people just ain't gonna have a shot at ever getting on that type of level, including them. They're not gonna be like no Beyonce, like Oprah, the Jay-Z's, and they're not gonna get to those type of levels. They're not gonna get to a level of a Robert Smith.
Stay in your lane.
Most people are not gonna get that. But what they do is, for us, when it come to our heroes, when it comes to people that we want to look up to, they try to give us these examples of people who are out in the stratosphere, who most people are not going to be like at all. But they overlook our doctors, our nurses, they overlook our educators, they overlook our motivational speakers, our factory workers who work the 9 to 5, maybe 30, 40 years, who ain't never been in no trouble with the law, raised 4 or 5 kids, all of them went to college, all of them got degrees, none of them been to jail, ain't no baby mamas, everybody married. They overlook all of those stories.
Yeah, definitely.
They overlook that. So a lot of times we are looking at the low-hanging fruit, and that's what we go for, and that's what get us, that's how a lot of us get in trouble, because we don't really understand, and we don't really see those other examples that are a whole lot more reachable, more attainable than trying to go way up here. You can live a very, very good life doing some different stuff other than just being a musician or being an athlete. Because I know people who worked 9 to 5s or who have salary jobs, who got more, who sleep more comfortable financially than some of these celebrities do, because they live within their means and they got everything that they want. They got all the things that they need. Their bills are paid. The mortgage is straight. Rent, whatever they're paying, everything is straight. The kids are straight. They go on vacations. They go to casino if they feel like it. They
got savings. They got property they bought, investments, everything else. Yeah,
they live good, man. They live.
They not
good.
They not going to report that.
But we have a lot more success stories than we have failures. But what they do is try to make us look down instead of up, and or even horizontal. That's what they do. But I got their ass. I know what they doing. I see what they doing, and they can't fool me. And this is why when I hear somebody saying something about, well, the immigrants come here and they do it and we ain't got no excuses. No, you're right. Like, I don't believe in excuses. I don't wear excuse shirts. But we cannot overlook that them people get a whole lot more shit than we ever get, and we built this country. They get reparations like they ain't, like they get, it's sad to call it reparations, but they getting our shit.
Yeah.
These people coming here, they giving them free health care, bro. They giving these people, immigrants who ain't done shit for this country.
We know this country wasn't built for us. After we built what we built, they start building on top of us to make it think like we didn't do none of that. They built over the history, built over that. Go to all our public schools we came up on. Black Wall Street, we ain't know shit about that. Just like you saying, all of the progress we done and everything we done, we know nothing about it. They always say, if you don't know your past, you don't know your future. You don't know your own worth. When they keep telling you and showing you when you watch the news, you like, we worthless.
Yeah.
If you believe that and take that. They don't give us the blueprint of our royalty.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that, we got some work to do. We definitely got work to do. But in the meantime, we need to stop kicking ourselves, man, because we doing some phenomenal shit. I'm talking about collectively. I ain't talking about the few uncivilized mutts that's fucking it up. I ain't talking about them. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about overall. And even when you start talking about fathers, who are these deadbeats these motherfuckers keep talking about? Because all my homies take care of their babies. All of them. I don't even rock with dudes who don't take care of their babies. I don't rock with them type of dudes. Because if you won't take care of your own seed, the one that you brought into the world, man, you won't look out for them. I know what you won't do for me. Which, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I don't rock like that, man. I keep it a buck on that, man. You know, because these babies, you know, they need us for real, man, and we got to give them the game. If we don't give it to them, man, they're gonna go out there and get it from somebody who don't know any more than what they do, and they're going to go out there and get their head bust open to the white meat. You know?
And it's a lot of times they got to understand, too, there's a lot of fathers that want to see their kids and can't.
Exactly.
And then they get labeled as deadbeats.
Exactly.
Or they get hit in the head with this outrageous child support that it's like no way they can't even afford, not only not afford to pay that child support, or even if they are, if you in the rears or anything else, and anytime they want to go and just say, you ain't paying, and you like, I got the receipt right here. No, you got to go down with me to the county and spend his time in jail while we go through the computer down there. You know what I mean? And the separation of the family at all. And like, yo, no, he can't see. I know his kids and bow, and especially if you travel or anything else, because I know situations like that too, where father can't see it, but he labeled a deadbeat and paying and everything else, but you still paying, but you still don't have visitation rights. You know what I mean? So it's all that system that's destroying what we talking about, us. Separating the families. It used to be, yo, you can't get this check from the government in your situation if a man lives in the house. Who was that going to? Our people.
Who lived in your house growing up?
Just my mother
Just
and
your
my
mother.
brother.
Did you have any type of relationship with your father?
Nah, I had the only relationship I had with him. My mother said, I saw your father. I was 12 years old. I'm like, yeah? Do you want to see him? I'm like, you know, I'm at the age, then the 12-year-old, I'm not mad at, I'm like, I could see my father? So he came, and I made a record after that, Ghetto Bastard. He came into my life. He actually lived right around the corner from me.
Had you seen him before?
No, never.
So where did you guys meet for the first time, and what was that meeting like?
For the first time, it either was at his house around the corner or at his job. And, of course, he had work and blah, getting off, maybe at his house. And it wasn't much. It was like, hi, but I had his number, so I would call him every now and again. It's boom. He was working. I knew he worked at like a car, used car spot. He was a mechanic in Newark. So he worked hours. I know that for a fact. But it came like, we see each other now and again. He could throw me a couple of dollars, It was really no time, you know, spent. But I know the first Christmas, which was like almost a year after I first met him, it was a spot, it was Little City, the projects around the corner from where I live, and then it was a strip mall right across, supermarket, all that. And I said, I gotta give my father something for Christmas. It's the first Christmas I'm seeing him. He around. So I went carrying bags in the supermarket, helping old ladies and everything else for tips and everything else doing that. And I remember I bought him, went downtown Newark and bought him like a silk tie. And so I wrapped it, put it up, and I know he had a roommate. It was a guy he was rooming with, and I had walked around. It was like either Christmas Eve or a couple of days before, and I was like, hey, what's up? He was like, what's up, little man? I'm like, yeah, Kenny here? He was like, man, when the last time you spoke to him? I was like, maybe a few weeks ago. He was like, nah, he moved. And when I called him, the number was disconnected. So it was like the longest walk around the corner, it felt like I walked across the country. And after that, it was like me. From 12, I was like, It's what it is, and I don't trust nobody.
Did you ever see him again?
Yeah. He was on couples therapy.
Oh, okay.
They found him.
Yeah.
They said again, like, Mom, you want to see your father? I'm like, what? They said, give me his name. Da, da, da. So we had a reunion again type, boom, me, and then came and his attitude is just, I don't drive, I don't boom, I don't da-da, you know, I can't, blah, blah. He's already in his mix and how he live and everything else. So it was like, oh no. Actually, I seen him one time after I started hustling. I knew, you know, I know that face. I knew. But by that time, I was like 17. And this fool walked right by me.
Do y'all look alike?
Nah, I look like my mom's. But I knew how he looked. He didn't know how I looked. And I was real grimy at that time. I was looking like, if I could burn a hole in the back of his head the way I stared at him, I got all angles like it was slow motion. And thoughts went through my head, but I'm like, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. And I did. And then I still had it to the point when the show wanted to bring him on. I was like, yo, reconciliation. I mean, I'm grown now. Let's try it. But I turned into a real cold motherfucker.
What kind of thoughts were going through your head when you took the police on a high-speed chase? Allegedly.
Allegedly, when was this? I mean, in Jersey,
I don't know.
in Jersey, check it out. The first time I was ever in a stolen car, I didn't even know it was stolen. Jersey was like the #1 stolen carjacking capital. Like,
yeah, they did a movie about
yeah,
Jersey.
I mean, that movie, Jersey Drive, boom. But they did documentaries and everything else. Michael J. Williams, rest in peace. Like, we did, they know about Jersey. It's notorious for, so, yeah, it's been chases and everything else, but it was never like getting caught.
So you never took the police on a 9-block high-speed chase?
A chase?
Because you know that's out there, right? Somebody printed that. I can't remember what publication I saw that in. But I saw that in a publication. It said that you took the police on a...
I mean, like I said, in the stolen car
You never heard
days.
this story? Okay, here's the story.
Uh-huh.
Treach took the police on a high-speed chase, 9 blocks.
Oh, yeah.
You forgot about that happened?
I mean, I didn't know, yeah. This is the thing.
Okay.
I'm in Jersey, of course, boom. So I think I was in a 745 Beamer. Was coming through. Jersey City is here. Where I live now was up here, but Jersey City was real grimy. Boom. So I'm coming up a main block, and 2 cars come on the side, like tinted windows, everything else. Not regular police cars or whatever, like regular cars, but they tinted. So I'm
you
looking
thought it
at.
was a jack move?
Yeah.
So
they pull up nothing, they regular cars. So I turn a corner, they turn a corner. I turn another corner right, they turn. I turn another corner right, they turn. Then I make a left, they turn. I said, it's a jack. So where I'm at between Jersey City and Union City, I'm like, so I pull up, go, shoot. I see police behind me, but I had already dicked them cars that was behind me. So with the lights on, I ain't know. I'm like, oh shit, police. So I pull over, boom, and jump out my car. I'm like, there was these motherfuckers. The police. Mm-hmm. So they locked me up, loot and everything else. Took it to a grand jury, explained to them what happened. They done missed all this shit.
Man, them people talking like he was just a notorious criminal. They talking about Treach took the police on a 9-block high-speed chase, jumped out the car, ran toward the police. They drew down on you, and
I ran out on the police. I ran out on them like, yo, these motherfuckers trying to jack me. They came out, boom, 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 boom. I went on my knees.
Yeah. Now
And they locked me up.
Now that sounds more
Guess what
plausible.
they tell when they there, they look, they did sobriety, see if you was like he's not, boom, but you just did this, boom, boom, boom. You ran through all these lights and then you're looting. They had a young rookie female cop there was like, it was like, that's Treach, naughty by nature. The cop there, the male in charge gave her the cuffs like, lock him up. This will be your first arrest, a rapper. Facts.
How did you get it started with Queen Latifah? How did she come to find you?
Nah, we actually found the Queen. Me and Latifah knew each other before there was a new style, which was Naughty by Nature before anything. Because she was in every talent show I was in around in the hood before she even had a deal. So that's where we knew each other beforehand. Then it's like, after a while, after, you know, we didn't see each other for a while, whatever else, I see her on TV. The Flavor Unit. Wrath of My Madness and Mark the 45. I'm like, yo, that is Dana. I know her. It was like, who? That, you know Latifah? I'm like, yo. Yeah, I'm like, I know her. It was like, from where? I'm like, talent shows, all that, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, we were going to labels and all the rest of that, trying to get a deal, everything else. So, me, K, and Ben was just sitting and talking like, yo, how could we get signed to Flavor Unit? You know her, right? I'm like, yeah, but I ain't seen her in years and everything else. So we was like, let's rent out a spot, which was like Upsala College had. Now it was Clifford J. Scott, all that, but Upsala College, we rented out a hall for a showcase, and we invited Flavor Unit, Latifah, Shakim Shabazz, rest in peace, Apache, Lati, Chill Rob G, Double J, rest in peace, all of the Flavor Unit to come through and see us perform, like trying out for the Flavor Unit. So they all came, and we rocked out. And from what the word was, Patchy was like, if y'all sign in the Flavor Unit, I'm out of Flavor Unit. They Jersey. So, like I said, we got signed first to Flavor Unit before any record deal. And that's when we stopped hustling. It was like, we can't bring the street shit into this business. Especially taint Latifah and Flavor Unit name.
Yeah. Who won those talent shows between you and Latifah?
Sometimes her. And this was like before, when it was just me as a solo artist. Me. But when New Style got together, me, K, and Ben, like in East Orange, every talent show, this like after La already was out, we won all of those. So we started going out of state, like, and doing it. Like, hold on, we good here. Let's see if we was still knocking them down.
Mm-hmm. Vinny and KG, how they doing now?
I mean, they doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm out doing my own thing. Yeah. Like now, we, you know, every group, all groups go through stuff. We ran our course as far as touring together and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm on the road still. I'm doing set and rocking, and they doing what they doing.
Yeah, I saw Vinny out there with New Kids on the Block,
Mm-hmm.
you know, DJing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good look.
Mm-hmm.
Good look. I was thinking about when we were out on the road and we were playing CeeLo. You remember that?
Always. I think we had to teach y'all CeeLo. Y'all ain't know CeeLo was the East Coast
no,
thing.
You're
or
right.
you wasn't playing.
Y'all taught me how to play CeeLo.
Okay,
that was my first time
We taught
playing,
you to take your money.
And I won.
We wanted some of that ghetto boy rap a lot money. We like, let us teach you this shit so I can bust that ass. I was a king.
And I won. The first time I ever played. I think I racked up like $40,000.
Yeah, not from me. But you did. And I know I wouldn't play you no more if you even got 5,000 from me. I'm like, this motherfucker beginner's luck. That's why I thought. I said, this motherfucker Willie D been over New York, been know how to play. You was doing side bets and everything. You got
Yeah,
money.
man. I got some money. I got some money that day.
Oh yeah,
man.
I know you did. That's actual facts, people. He ain't making it up. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of playing games, man, I know you're a big enthusiast, of games, especially when you was younger. Miss Pac-Man or Gallagher?
Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man or Gallagher?
Yeah, and Gallagher. Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
More. Yeah.
That's mine too.
Miss
Yeah,
Pac-Man.
I like that Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I could be on that thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So right now you're currently on a tour with the New Jack City play.
New Jack City Live.
Congratulations
Thank
on the play.
You finally seen it.
Yeah, I finally seen it, and you did not disappoint. In fact, the whole cast did not disappoint. It was beautiful to see. It was beautiful to see the reenactment. And I mean, what is the difference between preparation when you get on stage to act and versus rap?
Oh, I mean, it's a whole different high. You know what I mean? It's a whole different. It's like if you in an amusement park. It's a whole different ride, whole different thrill. Never in a million years when we started from the beginning, no deals, no nothing, rapping, thought I would be in movies. You know what I mean? There was no training before, like Pac went to the School of Arts and different stuff, like really training on acting. I never, ever thought that was going to be there. So it's just another a badge of accomplishment. Like I'm doing something that my mother didn't even, when I was rapping, she was like, you're not doing talent shows, you just want to run the streets. Like, come on, you got to get back to 9 to 5 job and anything else, and boom, you didn't go to college. What I'm doing and what I have made a career off of, like no college degree was needed. Not telling kids don't go to school and anything else. I already told you, education and work ethic, all that played a part, into what. I wasn't the best in school, but I didn't drop out. I made sure I graduated. I wanted to get to that point. I knew I wasn't a college kid, but just to do hip hop and then open the door for me to act, I was like, I'm going to show everybody out here that me acting isn't just I got it because I'm a rapper, which I probably got a lot of roles before when I was the hottest I was because I was a rapper that was internationally known. But when I get on that screen, I don't play.
Yeah.
Don't play.
Yeah, I think everybody know you don't play, man, including Eminem. Eminem gave you a big shout out, man. He was like, he studied you, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge accomplishment considering how so many millions and millions of people believe that Eminem is the top dog, like they believe that he's that dude.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to say, nah, Treach that dude, like this guy.
Crazy.
That's crazy to get that type of...
I always call him my light-skinned twin.
Yeah.
But for somebody, a lot of artists will go and say, yeah, I created this style, I made it, blah, 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 it's all me, it's me. When somebody like that, and it's not just me, he has a list of his, favorite artists. I might be at the top of the list and for somebody to give accolades like, that's our era. We be like, our favorite, like Run MC, LL, blah, blah, Slick Rick, the whole list, KRS-One, boom. Like, we'll name a million artists because our ego won't let us not name them because we actually came up. They always ask me where my style came from. I said from everybody I listened to, but I had to make my own style out of it. Now, when M comes and said I was a major influence in him getting better and seeing and studying me and everything else, that, everybody don't do that.
Yeah, that's true. I first met him at, what was that, the Beats Music Launch in Los Angeles. We were backstage, and his manager brought me to the bus. M had a bus back there, and M was like, "Man, I just got through listening to your album, Controversy." Like he's really a student of the game,
A student.
and he's a teacher.
A student.
See, because a good student eventually becomes the teacher.
The professor.
Yeah, he's the professor, the teacher. But a good student.
Yeah.
And M knows his history.
Yeah.
Like he really knows his history, and you're right. It's not just you. He has a list of artists that he listened to that inspired him, and it's like he put all that shit together and just said, okay, and he evolved into his own thing, you know, evolved into Eminem. But he's one of the few dudes out there, he's especially as far as one of the top dogs, who would give credit. You know, there's a lot of these dudes, they'll hold their nuts. They'll tell you in private they like you, but they'll never say it publicly.
No. And then they play the race card like he's a white guy, so he should never be accepted as one of the greatest or anything else. White people weren't never part of hip hop. Actually, the first female rapper I heard, I think, not even first female that I heard rapping, like I wasn't from New York, I was from Jersey, so I didn't have all access, was like Blondie. Like saying a rhyme. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Fat Five Freddy's in the sense. He said some pants, flash his back, and talking about Grandmaster Flash. Yo, like, it was there. The Beastie Boys already knew if they know we white, the race car could get pulled. So you seen their first album cover, like when the plane was crashing, you just sort of plane nose up and anything else. We all listened to the Beastie Boys and loved them. And by the time they put out a video, oh, those white boys ain't give a fuck. White people was in breakdancing. They was breakdancing. They was doing graffiti in New York, like back in the day, the inception of hip hop. So you can't just say it's fucked up. Yeah, us, we created it, but a part of the culture of hip hop, it was Hispanic, white, black first, of course, but it was all a part of it. You know what I mean? It really was a part of it. So to look at him and say he don't deserve a part of hip hop or rap or the culture is like, it's disrespectful to the art. You know what I mean? MC Search, you know what I mean? Like it was hip hoppers that was in there. They came into it, but they didn't, he's not official because he white. Can't nobody that really know lyrics say Eminem is whack or he just got where he at because he white. Go and try to say that shit and let him hear it and watch he tear your ass up on the record.
Well, here's the thing about M and most other white rappers, at least who came up, 20 years ago or so, they had to be first stamped by black people.
Of course.
And here's the thing a lot of people don't really pay attention up to is most white people, when it comes to black culture, and hip-hop is black culture, it started, we invented it. So when it comes to black culture, most white people will sit back and see if black people like it first. And if black people like it, then they start saying, okay, well, what's this about? What's that? And then they become a fan. Like, M first fans were black. His first fans were black. There's no doubt about it. Like, and before he started getting played on those top 40 stations, he was only being played on the hip-hop stations.
And before he even came out with records on 8 Miles, when he was doing battles and everything else, he was in the hood.
Yeah. Facts.
Eminem.
And you know what else is facts? That you that dude, dog.
You that dude.
Facts is that I am so thankful that you sat down with me, man, that you took time out your busy schedule to come out here and chop it up with me. I know that we friends and we've been friends for a long time, but you don't owe me nothing, man.
Man,
so I appreciate you.
Yo, you got anything, we phone calls away. We've been like that.
Absolutely.
All the time, bro. Congratulations on this great show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, it just got a little greater.
Yeah.
With you blessing it, you know, so
Respect.
it's all good.
Respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, Treach, no more talk.